Hello, 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 everyone. Hopefully, everyone is with us and can see me talking. And you can see Renee as well. She's muted right now. But we want to welcome and thank everyone for joining our first Boardroom Beauties, Boardroom Banter Google Hangout series. We are really excited about the start of this Boardroom Banter series. Just a little bit about Boardroom Banter. This is going to be all about the taboo topics, work-life issues, professional development topics, and some of those water cooler conversations that we've all dealt with and talked about. And so we'll talk about professional development topics that can help you get ahead in your career or in your business. Every month we'll have a feature on the blog, and then we'll also have a Google Hangout. So for our first one, we are talking about networking. So a little bit about the do's and don'ts of networking, a little bit about everything associated with it. We've got some tips for you tonight. And it was all inspired by this book. Let everybody see that. You Lost Me at Hello is a book which is someone both Renee and I have both worked with individually and together as Boardroom Beauties. And she wrote this book, You Lost Me at Hello, and it's actionable principles that move you beyond networking. So really focusing more on relationship building, and that was really the inspiration behind us writing this blog and doing this Google Hangout. So it's going to be about being successful in your networking. And so if you're with us on social media, if you have any questions, you can tweet them to us. Our Twitter handle is @DreamBigInColor, and you can use the hashtag BBNetworking. If you hear a tip and you want to tweet it out, if you have a question, if you're watching live on the Google Hangout page as well, I'll be checking that in between. Renee will be checking it, so any questions, we definitely want to get to that as well. So tweet @DreamBigInColor. We're on Facebook, Boardroom Beauties. You can inbox us. We're all on the computer today. So that's it. So hashtag BB Networking, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to monitor some questions and everything, and Renee is going to get started with the first tip. So I'm going to turn it over to her and mute myself.
Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Working Event. Make sure you're using that. And it's all about networking, like Toya said. And part of networking is envisioning your success. Some people really get intimidated or they get nervous when they are going to networking events. And when you're around people of higher caliber or people that you look up to and aspire to be, you get a little nervous when you're there. And you just have to remember that they put on their pants leg one leg at a time, just like you do. So just really don't be afraid when you're out there. When you see them at an event, don't freeze dead in your tracks, because you can envision yourself being in their position, and you can envision yourself having a conversation with them so that you can move forward when you're networking. The truth of the matter is, they are nervous sometimes just like you are. There's nothing to fear. You have nothing to lose. The only thing that they can tell you is no, and that's okay. Because what you really want to get out of it is getting to know them and finding out that next person. Maybe they have someone where you can go to. They have someone that they can connect you to. You just never know. So it's okay to be nervous because they can be nervous as well too. As the author of You Lost Me at Hello says, Donna Smith Bellinger says, envision a time where you felt the most valued. Then take that feeling and own it. And you have to own it where you are when you're networking. You have to envision yourself and empower yourself to be bold and be inspired to do the best networking that you can do. You will be surprised at how you can shock and awe not only yourself but others when you empower and envision yourself in a great place when you're networking. And that's our first tip. So make sure that if you hear something that's great, you go on to our Twitter at Dream Big in Color, and you use the hashtag BB Networking. You can also go to our Facebook page as well too. If you have any questions on the Envision section or Envision Your Success, make sure that you ask questions on that too. We will get those answered, so don't worry, we will get to you. Difficulty, so we're going to get to her in just a second. You know, computers, you can't always rely on them. So just like we're envisioning envisioning your success when you're networking, we're envisioning our success with this Hangout. So bear with us. All right, so while she's doing that, I'm going to go to the next tip, which is preparation meets opportunity. You always, always, always have to prepare. You have to realize what's your goal. Don't go into an event all willy-nilly. That is like going into an event and not being prepared. So make sure that you're prepared. Be ahead of the game when you go to the event. Dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. Make sure that you have business cards ready. Don't pass them out like candy. Donna Smith Bellinger has always told me that. I remember I was sitting with her one day and she was like, when you go to this event, I don't want you giving out your business cards like they're candy. And that makes sense to me because not everybody deserves your business card. Not everybody's going to utilize your business card. So make sure you give them to the connections that are going to benefit your net worth. And also have a 60-second elevator pitch ready. So make sure that your elevator pitch is ready. I am a beauty blogger, so one of the things that I always say is that I am the Cisco and Ebert of all things beauty. I try products before you buy them. That catches people's ear right then and there. And they're like, oh, well, what's this all about? Beauty School Scarlet? Let me go find out more. Make sure that you're impactful and that you make that impression happen. If possible, research the people that are attending the event, so that you can have something to talk about, because that is the best thing that you could definitely do. So make sure that you're able to find out who they are, what they like, what their background is. Make sure you know those things so that when you go to the event, you can talk to them and you can say, oh, Toya, I've been reading about you and I know that you love to travel and you have a travel blog. Miss Travel Chic, let me talk to you about some of the travels that I've done. One thing that you shouldn't do is a big no-no is try not to eat and drink while you're mingling. The worst thing that you could do is have business cards in one hand, a drink in another hand, and be like, oh my God, I need to give her my card because she's asking for it. How can I maneuver this? Then you got a plate going on. Hold on, let me sit this down. And then, oh, let me go and talk to you. That's very awkward. And when you're coming across and when you're networking, you have to make that impression. You got to make the best impression that you can. So the last thing you want to do is have tons of things in your hand. So I would suggest that you eat before the event or eat somewhere in a corner and then go do your mingling and your networking. Have breath mints on hand. That's very important. You don't want to be in someone's face with not so hot breath or with hot breath in that case. So make sure that you stay away from that embarrassing moment, especially if you're eating at the event. You can not notice that there's onions on something, so make sure that you have breath mints always available and handy. The next thing I want to tell you is make sure you have a firm handshake. The one thing that is my biggest pet peeve, when in my past job I used to do a lot of interviewing and I would interview people and they would have these flimsy handshakes. Have a firm handshake because you want to show that you are empowered and that you are bold and that you're ready to take on the world and that you could be the next leader. So make sure that you have a nice firm handshake. Don't do those little handshakes like when you go to somebody and you're like this. Have a nice firm handshake, a good grasp. And you also want to make sure that your business cards have some type of call to action on there. So make sure that there is your name, your number, your email address. Make sure that if you are an entrepreneur, your social media handles are on there. Have a call to action on the back if you can, where follow me on my, sign up for my newsletter. Follow me on Twitter to get the latest tweets on XYZ. So don't think that a business card only has to be the front. It can be the front and the back as well too. If you're going for professional and you work for a company, just make sure that it has the proper information and that you have enough cards with you as well too. And in the wise words of Donna Smith Bellinger, the author of You Lost Me at Hello, always be charming, attentive, and graceful. So now I'm going to turn it over to Toya, who's now got her technical difficulties out of the way, and she's going to take over from here.
Okay, I got it together now, y'all. So thanks, Renee, for jumping in. We kind of had this back and forth thing planned, but as we said, technology, gotta love it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about thinking outside the box when it comes to networking. So Renee covered a lot, envisioning your success, and making an impression is something I'm going to talk about. But so thinking outside the box. So typically when we think of networking, we think of oh, it's a networking event, some type of panel discussion. But I always urge you to think about other ways you can network. So maybe it's joining a meetup group. Finding people that have similar interests as you. You can still end up building a connection through that because it's all about relationship building. So if you're part of a travel meetup group or an outdoor or a natural hair meetup group, these are people that have similar interests as you, but you're building relationships with them, making friendships, making them your associates and acquaintances, and you never know where that will lead to as far as a business relationship and something that can help to get you to the next level in your career. So meetup groups, also social media. That is so big. I just did a webinar last month about how you can grow and how you connect with people via social media. There are tons of people that you can get connected to within your industry, in the industry that you want to. So use social media. Renee was talking earlier about kind of researching some things. So if you want to network with other women entrepreneurs because you want to gain some insight for them or share a product with them, search some of the hashtags, get on some of the Twitter chats, and connect with them online. There are two women that I know for a fact I met on Twitter, and we recall that we met on Twitter. One is now I'm working with as a career coach, and we're doing some things, and she's helping me out. I'm attending her retreat. And the other, I attended one of her events and hosted an event when she came to Chicago. But it really all started online, just through social media, sharing some of their posts, retweeting, vice versa, connecting with them. Things like this Google Hangout, as you all are in the comment feed or on Twitter, maybe you see somebody's profile or bio, or you like what they have to say and you run across that. Don't be afraid to take an online connection and also build an offline relationship because you never know where that can lead to. So think outside the box. Think about meetup groups. Think about, online social media. And also survey your own circle. A lot of times just within our own network, even at your company or even within, a smaller business circle that you're in. Let's say you're in a mastermind group or you're in a social organization with people, or at your company, you may work for a company with thousands of people, but if you're in an employee group there or a women's networking group there, survey your own network. You never know where those connections can lead. I mean, from your hairstylist to the guy you always sit next to at church, striking up a conversation with them, building that relationship can always help you to get to the next level as well, too. So it's all about, as Renee said, being prepared, but also making sure you take advantage of every opportunity that's in front of you. So don't just plan to research networking events and go there. And yes, you do the handshake, the business card exchange there, but look for other ways outside of the normal networking events to really make yourself more visible, make some new connections, and meet some people. So think outside the box. Join meetup groups. I'm a big proponent of meetup groups. I'm a big proponent of, networking online as well too. And, a lot of times you connect with people online, especially if you're in the same city. You connect on Facebook or Twitter. You see events that they're attending and you attend as well, and that's the time for you guys to connect offline as well and build a relationship from there. So making a memorable impression is another thing that was brought up in this group. And you want to make sure that people remember who you were when they met you and who you are. So Renee said, from your business card is where it starts. So what does your business card say? And she spoke about that call to action. Now on my business card, I have, all my information, but then there's a place on there that says work with me. And so I list blogger, brand ambassador, consultant, speaker, because I want the person that I'm handing that card to be able to look at that card and be like, oh, what was this girl? Oh, yeah, she was the blogger. And or if they're going through cards and they're looking for someone that they want to speak at something, because my card says, hey, I'm available to speak. I'm available to, write for you as a freelance writer and a blogger. I'm available to be a brand ambassador. I can consult with you on some social media and branding. Make that clear. And so handing them that card, your business card, speaks a lot about how they'll remember you, whether it's, nice and colorful. You want it to be a good impression. So first impressions are important. The same thing goes in networking event, making that memorable impression. You are your brand. So that is everything from looking a certain way, and it's not about trying to look a certain way. It's about being confident in who you are, being approachable, being well put together, having clean hygiene, as Renee was saying earlier, having the fresh breath. All of that is going to be memorable to someone. They're going to say, I met, Brittany at this event, and wow, she looked good. She was very confident in what she said. She knew what her business was about or what her job was. She knew what she wanted to get to on the next level. Her business card clearly explained that, so they know directly how to follow up with you. Another big piece is having your elevator pitch. I attended a networking, not a networking conference, it was a blogging conference last year, and I got to take part in an awesome course about mastering your elevator pitch with lifestyle journalist, author, and media maven Harriet Cole. Some of you guys have may know of her. But it was such a great course during the conference because she talked about how sometimes you only have 10 or 15 seconds to make an impression on somebody. So, they always used to say at my corporate job, what are you going to do when you step on the elevator and the CEO is in there? You've got that 10-second or 5-second ride to say, I'm LaToya Benson, I work in sales, this, blah, blah. What are you going to do with that time? And is he going to walk out the elevator and just be like, oh, it's one of my employees in there? Or is he going to walk out the elevator and say, I want to know more about that LaToya Benson? And, she had her elevator pitch down. So in business now, when I am out meeting with somebody that could either be a potential vendor, sponsor, speaker, a collaborator, you have to know who you are, what your business is about, what your career or business goals are, so that when that opportunity presents itself, you've prepared that elevator pitch and you've got 10 seconds to really get that out and to be concise and clear and say, I'm Toya Nicole, I'm a social media and branding strategist and a travel and lifestyle blogger that loves to encourage ordinary women to walk into their extraordinary purpose. I love to speak. I love to host workshops. I love to collaborate on events together so that they know how you all can work together. So if that opportunity comes, whether it's the CEO and you've been jockeying for that promotion to director at your job and you just worked hard on a specific project, you say, hi, Sally, nice to finally meet you. I'm Keisha, and I was, on part of the marketing team that helped bring on that new client. It was great to work on that. I'm really looking forward to growing with the company, specifically pursuing a director job in the finance department and seeing how my skills play out there. That's going to leave an impression on Sally, your CEO, and she may look into you a little bit more. So, again, make a memorable impression. Be confident in who you are. Make sure your business card really speaks to what you have to offer, how they can work with you, how they can get to know more about you. think outside the box when it comes to this networking. You know, as Renee was saying, you want to look at different ways. I consider every interaction and every time I'm out as a networking opportunity, not just when I'm going to an event. Like I said, it can be while I'm at church. It can be while I'm getting my hair done. You never know who is getting their hair done next to you. So you always just want to be on point, and that's the piece about preparation meeting the opportunity. You know, again, when you step on that elevator, when you walk in that church, when you walk into that event, you know, when you're walking down the street, when you're stopped at a stoplight with someone walking, you know, down the street in Chicago, you never know what that interaction could lead to. So those are those two topics. I am going to let Renee say a couple of more things, and then I'm going to search for some questions that I know you guys have and probably have been tweeting out. And I think we got a couple inbox to us beforehand. So I'm going to kick it over to Renee and mute myself again.
Okay. So tips, and I hope you guys are still following us on social media at Dream Big in Color, and the hashtag is BB Networking. So we talked about a couple of different things. We talked about you envisioning your success, preparation meets opportunity. We talked about being making a memorable impression, and we also talked about thinking outside of the box when you're networking. Those are all important parts of networking and being the best that you can be. Just want to let you know some of the things that we have coming up is next month. We are on July 3rd is going to be our next Google Hangout, where we're going to be discussing connect and grow by using social media to grow your network. So mark your calendars now. Again, that's July 3rd. It'll be at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to be discussing connect and grow by using social media to grow your network. Be sure to join us, our newsletter, for updates. You can go to our website, boardroombeauties.com, and you can look at our blog. You can check out our different posts that we have. You can join our newsletter, so you'll be in the know of all the things that Boardroom Beauties has going on. Follow us on Twitter, as we said earlier, at Dream Big in Color, and like us on Facebook/Boardroom Beauties. And last but not least, if this video just moves you and you've got some great tips from it, make sure that you share it to your social network and because it will go live on YouTube. So make sure that you share it to your social network and they get all the information and advice as well too. So don't be stingy, because you're not the only one that needs network tips. Everybody needs networking tips. And make sure that you're part of our network, because we want you to be part of our community. We want you to have a voice. Our Facebook page is where we have lots of conversations going on, people liking things and sharing things, and it's a community. So it's not just about the different blogs that we write. It's not about the different tweets that we have. It's about how you feel, what's going on with you within the boardroom, and the things that you experience. So Boardroom Banter is the first part of our series. We're going to have something else that we're going to be talking about next Saturday, so that's new for us as well too. I don't want to talk about that just yet, so you'll have to wait and hear more and join our newsletter to see what's coming up. And I'm going to turn it over to Toya.
Okay, yes, as Renee said, we have some exciting things going on coming up over the next couple of months. So one question that we had coming in was, this was through Facebook, so someone asked, how long should I take to follow up, and then what should I say? So that's very important, and I must say, one, you should follow up between 24 to 48 hours. I'm a big believer in that. That goes back to making that memorable impression. And so you meet somebody at a conference or an event, and then don't let a week or two pass because they've attended something else, they've traveled, they've had something else going on in their life. They're like, who is that again? So when you follow up 24 to 48 hours, it's like, hey, Tanika, so cool meeting you at the conference. You know, sending you a LinkedIn request now. You know, here's my social media accounts. I already followed you on Twitter. Be sure to follow back. I look forward to seeing how we can work together And if it's not even a work together thing, maybe it's just a meeting up for coffee or lunch. Whatever it is that you discussed at that networking event, whatever it is that you feel you can collaborate with them on in the future, that's what you want to be in that follow-up email. Now, a way to make that simple is to have a template. And what Donna talks about in the book, You Lost Me at Hello, is having a template email. So all you're doing is putting in a new name, the name of the place where you met them, and then hitting the send button. That way it takes the stress off of having to type up something each time, because it is hard, you know, sometimes to actually sit down and type up a full email that's not just a quick response. So have a couple of canned template emails. For me, if I know it's something in a business perspective, I already have an email saying, I'm great connecting with you at this. I loved hearing about what you had going on in your business or career. Thanks for letting me share what I had going on. I think I'd love to connect with you again. Let me know when you would be free, maybe for a coffee or a lunch. You know, here's my LinkedIn profile. Be looking out for a LinkedIn request from me as well. If it's more something kind of in a personal nature, if I'm out at a blogging event, you know, I'll follow up sometimes with a tweet, you know, immediately after the event or the next day, you know, at Beauty School Scarlet, at Miss Travel Chic, at, you know, Glasses and Glitter. Just throw her out there. I'm thinking of somebody, bloggers I know. Great meeting y'all at the, you know, beauty event, you know, last night. Look forward to staying connected. Sending somebody a Facebook friend request. You know, there are a couple of people I met at a conference earlier this year at the DuSable Museum, and we connected on Facebook. It was a while before we maybe connected offline and got together and started building a relationship, but I went ahead and made that immediate connection because you want to capitalize immediately after the time that you spent with them. So 24 to 48 hours is when you want to follow up. What you should say, again, if it's something personal in nature, hey, let's get together so we can talk a little bit more about it. I live in Hyde Park. Where do you live? Let's meet somewhere mutual for coffee or lunch. If it's something more in a business lane, again, you want to make sure you're connecting on LinkedIn. That way you can see some of the other things that they have going on. You can see some of their other connections, and that just extends the networking relationship even further. So there was another one about business cards. Should you have business cards at an event? What info should be on those cards? Yes, you should have business cards at an event, and you should. So I have a friend who's a doctor, and eventually she wants to do some things around blogging, around copywriting. She has some passion for other things, but she's like, I just got my doctor business cards. Like, I don't bring those around. But I told her, you need to bring some type of business card, whether it's your doctor business card or whether it's just a general, you know, Becky Sue, medical professional, phone number, email. And that's what she ended up doing. A great resource to do that is build an about.me page. And once you build an about.me page, you get 50 free business cards through moo.com, which is one of my favorite card services. They make nice, glossy, round cards. You get 50 of them free, and it has a QR code on the back. So when people scan that, it takes them right to your about.me page. It's actually more like a free website. From that about.me page, you can put information about yourself. So now when she attends networking events, she has something to share with them. Or go to Vistaprint. You know, just find a quick way to make some business cards. Don't worry about a title. Just put your name. I have business cards, and then I have just a personal card with my name, my personal email, and my phone number. That's it. Because not everything is about a business connection, but you do want to have something to present. What info should it have on the card? Again, like I said earlier, definitely all your contact information. But then if you want to, on the back, the great thing about moo.com is it allows you to have a double-sided business card. So on the back, mine says, work with me, and it lists out all those different things. So that's what you should do. I'm going to let Renee answer another question that just came in on Twitter, looks like, and yeah, so make sure to have business cards at a networking event.
Okay, everybody. So the question is, what's the best way to initiate a meetup in my area? And that's a great question. And the way that I would go about initiating a meetup is go to meetup.com and you can start your own meetup group. And you can start meetups with people who have like minds. So find, what you want for the title of your meetup, or you can do a Facebook group as well too, and you can schedule meetups that way, because with meetup.com there is a cost. So if you don't want something that has a cost to it, try something like a Facebook group. That's another one, and you can start a community there. And I know when you go to the schedule events at like the public library, that's a good thing to do. If you don't charge for the event will be free, so you can do that there. And what I would say is make sure that you're prepared for that event. So if you're going to, whatever event you're going to do, make sure you're prepared with it by having everything out ahead of time. So have a checklist, a to-do list. Make sure you know what you're going to cover when you're there. Make sure that you have something, actionable steps that people can take away from that event. So if it's a networking event, what do you want to get out of it? What is it? What's in it for them? That's the whole thing in it, is what's in it for them. What are they going to take away with it? So make sure that they have, the people that are attending the event, they have something that they're going to take away with it. So that's the best way to initiate a meetup group. Let's see, I think we might have another question here. Yep. As a woman, how do you successfully network with men? That's a great question. I am probably not the one to do that, but because I'm really shy when it comes to I'm really shy when it comes to guys, and I'm old-fashioned. So when it comes to networking with men, I'm a little bit more standoffish, unless it's something like, if it's professional, it's more easier for me because I can talk business all day long, and I can network with the best of them with a man. But if it's for more personal, I'm a little bit more like, oh, he needs to approach me. So that's just me. I don't know about Toya, so maybe she can share some information on that. So I'm going to turn it over to her.
Right. So I'm going to take it that she meant the question for business networking with men, which is important. Like Renee, I'm old-fashioned too when it comes to courting. But from a business perspective, you want to make sure it's about business. I think, in my corporate career, that was always a thing too. And, I had a mentor that was a male, and a lot of, people kind of strayed away, or, you just don't want anything to be, looking funny. So it's important to remain professional. We can laugh and kiki with each other as women, but when you're with a man, you want to make sure that he knows it's about business. But if you are at an event and this gentleman is an entrepreneur or is doing something that you really enjoy, let that be known first. For example, I was at an event earlier in the year, and there was a man that was at the event, and he was one of the speakers at the end, and I thought he was so powerful. He had a book. I wanted to get his book. He ended up coming over to my vendor table after, and I was like, hey, really enjoyed your presentation. Oh my God, tell me more about this book, etc. And he was like, I'm looking to really grow my blog, etc. There's probably some collaboration opportunities. And I was like, I'd love to work with you. I was like, I really do want to check out your book and hear a little bit more about what you have to offer. And he was like, here, I'm going to just give you my book for free. Don't tell anybody. But from the beginning, I let it be known it was about something professional. He went on to be a collaborator of mine. I've helped him establish his brand. He spoke at one of our events. So it was approached as something professional to begin with. We weren't flirting with each other. It was all about how can we work together. So if you want to network with men because, that man is in a position to help you to get to the next level in your career or has a business opportunity, approach them the same way you would in a professional setting. Let them know what you're about, and leave any little flirting thing alone. Leave any little ha-ha, he. Women, we can do that with each other, but with men, you want them to know that you're serious about business, and that you're not coming at them in another way. There's a time and place for that, perhaps at a later time, but if you're at a networking event, in a meetup group, online, let him know that it's about business and be as professional as possible, would be my opinion and my experience, to be honest, too, because I have networked with a lot of men for a lot of, opportunities for our business, and clients as well, too. So let's see. I think that's about it. Did anything else come in on Twitter?
No.
Yay! So we got to all the Facebook questions and the Twitter questions that just came in. So thank you, ladies, for attending.
And gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen for attending. I understand we have some men on. Hey, y'all. This will be available immediately following for replay on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Boardroom Beauties. When you go to our channel, you can also see a 2.5-minute video, an event recap from our last event that we had in April, as well as some testimonials and different things like that. And so that's what I have to say. Follow us at Dream Big in Color, Facebook.com Boardroom Beauties. When they say we're going to have something exciting coming out next Saturday. www.boardroombeauties.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter. And one last shout out from Renee.
So I did. So thank you guys again for joining our Hangout. We are very grateful that you took the time out of your schedule to ask questions and to participate. Make sure you check out Donna's book, You Lost Me at Hello, and it is available on Amazon.com. Follow her on Twitter at Group Endeavors. You can find her there, and she's also on Facebook as well too. Be sure to follow us with any questions that may not have been answered at Dream Big in Color, and on Facebook at Boardroom Beauties. We're also on Instagram as well too, and we have a Google Plus page. So we love to hear from you. We love to have our community have a voice, and we want you to be able to say what you mean and mean what you say. So until next time, next month when we have our great hangout, we will talk to you soon. And be sure, because we've got some new t-shirts. I don't know if you can see them. I'll kind of stand up here. So we've got I'm Be Inspired, you can see here, and Toya is Be Bold. So we've got new t-shirts that we've just ordered, so we're really excited about that. So they are the same price. They're $20 online, and we have in short sleeve. They're a thinner material, so we're very excited about that too, and those can be ordered in small, medium, large, and extra large. So we will talk to you soon. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and make sure that you mark July 3rd, 8 p.m. for our next event, Connecting and Grow Your Business Through Social Media. Bye.